Welcome to the Adventures of Alcaraz podcast. My name is Julian Alcaraz.
And I'm Miranda Alcaraz. And this is week 16 to 17 of the pregnancy podcast updates. 3 weeks out of being halfway.
Yes.
So here we are. We've been home this whole week.
Yeah.
It's been cold. And honestly, we've had so much going on that when we sit down to record these podcasts, I don't even know what happened this week or last week. Yeah, but that was last week. We recorded this in New York last week, remember, on the day that we were coming home.
Oof.
So, yeah, we have a lot going on in our work business life, which can make it hard to even remember what goes on in our personal life sometimes.
Yes. Well, actually, I know for starters, there was a concern about you not gaining the proper weight, even though your bump was showing even more. And then all of a sudden, you start seeing the proper weight gain this week.
He's trying to figure out a way to say you've gained a lot more weight lately.
Yeah, but good healthy weight, right? I know now that, yes, you're looking at 30, 40 pounds, whatever it is, right?
Yeah, so I have gained 8.5 pounds.
Nice.
But I was stuck at a 5-pound weight gain for 3 weeks. So in the last 2 weeks, it's been 3.5 on top of that 5.
You were feeling kind of weird about it at first, but now, are you back to feeling more normal? Okay, this is the path that's supposed to be happening.
Yeah, I think so. He's still very small. Obviously, I still feel like my body has a lot of a thicker layer of just fat that I'm not used to. Mm-hmm. I know I even in the last pregnancy, because I look at pictures and go back. It's really fun. We took a ton of photos and videos and everything just because I've always been pretty active on social media and all of that. So I have the last pregnancy pretty well documented. Not necessarily, I didn't post as much then. But I have it all in my phone. So I can see where my body, my bump was smaller, but the other symptoms isn't the right word, but the other stuff, my legs being thicker for sure and all that, I can see it in those photos from back then as well. Mm-hmm. My butt. Because there's some photos of me doing the open, which was in February back then.
Yeah.
And I was further along than I am now, a little bit, not too far, maybe a month. I definitely similar situation with the butt and legs.
A couple of things I definitely want to dive in deep into because we had really good conversations about it. One being that you were entering programming and you're finally getting to a point. You were just kind of frustrated because you were entering SP workouts and then you're realizing that so many of them look so fun and you enjoy it, but then but now I can't even do them. So this is this kind of sucks. It's like planning a party not going to.
Yeah, it's so. I love creating the workouts, and I create not all the workouts, but a lot of the workouts for street parking, and I enter all of them.
Yeah.
So I get to see them, and you know how it is. I always send you screenshots, oh, this one's going to be terrible, or oh, this one's so awesome, or I can't wait for this one. And now it's getting to the point, because I'm entering workouts that are mid-December, so even a month away from now.
Yeah. And
I'm this one's got pull-ups. I'm going to have to scale that. This one's got box jumps. I probably won't be able to do that. I haven't been running, so that's too bad. No double unders, all this stuff. And I had to scale stuff so much earlier this time that, I'm only at 17 weeks, and the workout the other day had pull-ups and push-ups in it, and I can physically do both of those things still, no problem, but I can feel it in my abs, the strain.
Well, even in the sandbag slam.
Oh, yeah. So I've been subbing out sit-ups or toast bars with the sandbag slam. And I film everything, and I was watching it afterwards, and you can definitely see that hard throw to the ground. I was even coning in that, and it was okay, there's so many things. And what I was kind of talking to you about, and also some of the people just here at the office, was I'm only at 17 weeks. The baby is due in April. I almost said Knox is due in April. The baby is due in April. And so by the time I go through the postpartum recovery, which is honestly the hardest part, you feel better when you're pregnant than you do right after, for sure. We're looking at probably September before I'm okay, there's a lot of these workouts that I can do without having to modify. September of next year, and it's November right now. So that's a really long time. And for it being something that I love so much and something that I get so excited about creating so that I can do it along with everyone. It's definitely frustrating. I remember that from last time too, just being like, oh, I want to go back and do this workout. But then by the time Knox came, there were so many that I had missed that I just never ended up doing them completely. But
yeah. I think these are the things that people don't really think about, where a lot of individuals be like, oh, well, you should feel grateful. You should feel grateful. But it's like, it's not even that you're not grateful. It's just, this is how you feel. Like, this is your world. These are like good feelings that you're having. They're normal, you know? And I think hearing this out loud helps, obviously, our conversations, and helps a lot of people out as well, you know?
Yeah, and like, you can be grateful for something, but that doesn't mean that it's always going to be easy. Mm-hmm. I'm grateful for our relationship, but it's not always easy. Or I'm grateful to have this business, but it's not always. There's things about it that make it hard, or days that you just want to not do it or whatever, you know? Like, there's always hard stuff, but it's not like I'm super grateful, and I'm grateful that I know enough about training that I can still do something, because most people are like, oh, well, I can't do this, this, and this, so I'm just not going to do anything. So I'm grateful for my knowledge for that. But we have Chris here in the office who he just had shoulder surgery, and I was like giving the example to him of, because I've been injured a lot, several times. And with an injury, the worst day is the day that it happens, or maybe the day of your surgery. Like, that's the worst it's going to get. And then from there, it's like a road to recovery. But with pregnancy, it's like a slow decline in like what you're able to do, and then a slow ramp back up. Mm-hmm. So it's like a much longer period of time for sure. Mm-hmm. But so that's been frustrating. It's hard to enter those workouts and not be able to do as many of the demos and things like that as well, for sure.
The other thing too, you did a post about boy. That was very special. That was very special, and it was kind of weird. You did a post about our baby. Beep. Boy. That was extremely special, actually. It kind of put things into perspective and made things really real.
For you.
For me as well, because I was like, whoa. This is really weird that you're not talking about Knox. You're talking about our boy. Mm-hmm. And it's like, wow. It was like such a weird feeling. And it just kind of got me into understanding a little bit more of what you're going through. Because you even had mentioned, like, I feel more connected to him than I did with Knox, which is so weird to say because I love Knox so much. But all of these little pieces that keep adding as now you felt you've been feeling him move. Mm-hmm. I can tell when you feel him move because you're like, oh my gosh, like that was definitely him moving. How does that feel?
Yeah, so the post was like a message to our baby boy. Mm-hmm. And it was about how everything I'm doing right now is for you. And because there's a lot of people that are rude about pregnant women working out. I actually haven't had too many people be rude. I had one comment the other day where someone was like, poor baby. Oh my God. And I had typed out a comment back saying, yeah, you should see how messed up the first one is, or something like that. Mm-hmm. But I just deleted her comment. I didn't go down that road. But but I do get DMs from people all the time that are like, my family's really mean about me continuing to work out. Like, your posts are helping me so much or whatever. So the message was to him saying, like, everything I do is for you. I make sure that I get enough sleep for you because we're sharing this body right now. It's not mine. It's ours together. Everything that I eat is something that I would want you to eat. And sometimes, occasionally, that is a treat because, we give Knox treats sometimes. We don't like him to eat it all the time, but we also want him to enjoy life and everything and have balance. In the workouts, I know you can hear me breathing. I know you can feel my heart beating hard, and that's to teach you that movement is good for us, and teach that to you now and show you that your mom is strong and that she wants you to be strong. So it was like a message to him saying, that like I understand that everything that I do is for both of us. And then I think I put in there like, but I also understand that you're very fragile, so I need to be gentle with you right now and be gentle with the body that we're sharing, type of thing. And yeah, that's just, those are the real thoughts that I have. But I know for you, you were like, wow, like.
It was definitely a wild moment because the difference is obviously you're growing him, and so you've already feel connected. Whereas for the dads, even with Knox, it took like even 6 months to be like, okay, like he's wanting to, like he knows who I am now, right? And it's just part of it, right? Of course you're there and everything, but baby wants to be connected to mom. Like that's still, there's like that whole process and understanding that. So for me, it's still like a lot about Knox and you and taking care of you, right? And so that kind of slowed time down for me and being like, oh, you know, brought back like almost a little anxiety, like, wow, that there's another one coming. Like, you know, the things that you've been feeling for so long, like, oh man, sharing my love now that I already have for Knox with another boy. Like, it's just, yeah, there's a lot that ran through my head, but that kind of sums it up a little bit. It was just a time stopper.
Yeah, and I did tell you, and I told Molly that I feel more connected to this baby that I did with Knox, and I feel guilty. I actually felt guilty making that post that was only to the new baby, because I was like, this post makes no mention of Knox. Like, actually, at the very end, it says, "My boys have taught me that there's no such thing, nothing stronger, but also more gentle than like a mom."
Yeah.
And it did mention my boys, both of them, but the rest of it was about the new one. And yeah, I told Molly earlier this week, like, I feel more connected, and it's not, the two main reasons for that are not because I think I'm going to love this baby more. Obviously, like, I just have a better connection with this baby. My connection with Knox is amazing. I mean, people have seen that, people know that, but I wasn't a mom before, so I didn't know what that felt like. You have to learn how to kind of connect at first and learn what it feels like to be a mom and everything. And I think that takes, you know, the experience of the first one to like know how that's going to be. And I think I'm just like more in tune with it now. But also we were going through some like chaotic stuff in our relationship during the first pregnancy that made it hard for me, because I was trying to connect with you so much during that time that I wasn't, I mean, I was definitely taking care of my body and doing all the same things I'm doing now, but it was just harder to get to focusing on that as much as I do this time.
Yeah, absolutely. When we had our doctor's appointment, which was kind of cool. I mean, it was. It just because like it just keeps like moving progression. It's a progression to our next appointment, which is finally going to be the ultrasound where we get to see him, which is super exciting.
In like 2.5 weeks. We get to see him.
Yeah. It's finally really cool to see that everything's going really well. Like, you're extremely healthy. You know, everything's just things are going well, and it just adds a like layer of peace.
Yeah, it was funny. There was like that moment too where she was like, "Have you felt him move?" And I was like, "Yeah, 2 or 3 times for sure. I know that's what it was, and the only reason I know for sure is because Knox moved a lot, and so I know what that feeling is." And then a couple times I'm like, is that really him, or am I just convincing myself that some other whatever is him moving gas, or I don't know. But she was like, "Oh, well, it's okay. Like, it's still super early. Like, it would be okay if you hadn't even felt him. We were just asking, and you don't even need to worry for like 2 more months about how often you're feeling it and stuff."
Yeah.
And so she was like, "But let's listen to his heartbeat." And she put the little Doppler on there, and immediately his heartbeat was so strong. She said it was so healthy, but then you could hear him moving around, going wild in there.
It was very scary, very scary.
And you were immediately like, oh no. Like another little Knox doing burpees in there.
Yes. Just the whole sleep thing kind of traumatized me a little bit, but.
I mean, Knox is very wild.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's very wild. This morning I was playing PlayDoh with Knox actually, and we were like making like little like balls with dough of the Play-Doh, and then he would smash it, and he smashed one, and then I made another little ball and he smashed it, and he goes, "Mama," and then said the baby's name for the other one.
He did?
Yeah, on his own. Like, we weren't even talking about him or anything.
Wow.
And I was like, yeah, and then I was like, let's make another one for Knox and another one for Papa, you know. But he said Mama E.
Wow, that's really cool. Yeah.
I was going to say something else that came up this week, and now I can't remember what it was. It was definitely something. Physically, I've been feeling okay. I had a few more headaches earlier in the week that were pretty bad. The last like 2 days, it's been okay. Sleep has been better.
It's been better. I mean, it's still rough just because I think one of the things that has helped in the communication between me and you has just because you do stay up a little bit, even like 30, 40 minutes later, but knowing that your sleep is so interrupted because you're always going to the bathroom, like because you've been drinking so much water, which is great, but also how that much that just affects you in general, that's hard on you to try to even function throughout the day. So for us, you know, I've kind of made a commitment to just, all right, hey, this is the least I can do, wake up with Knox in the morning because he's been going through this 5:15 a.m. ever since the time adjustment happened. Ouch.
Mm-hmm.
But it's okay though. Like, I think that feels good for me, just knowing that I can just do those little small things while you take care of the big one.
Yeah.
You know, but it's just allowing us to reshuffle. That's where we always kind of tell people there is no balance. You just have to adjust as things come, right? Because, you know, in seeing that, and I just made an adjustment to my schedule and be like, all right, I'm going to start going to bed now an hour earlier. So I'm going to try to be out by like no later than 10, given that Knox wakes up at, I kind of plan it for 5 a.m. So at least 7 hours, which kind of makes me reshift everything and, you know, just winding myself down because, you know, I try not to take naps throughout the day because that'll interrupt me from trying to go to bed earlier. Just all those small tweaks that you just have to be aware of, you know, and, but it's kind of nice though, just because for me, you know, it's like a lot of extra spending time with him in the morning.
Oh, I can hear you guys just having a blast down there.
So he wakes up.
What did he do today that you were cheering big time for? Did he do his pegs?
He was doing his pegs. And then like the
sewing.
I mean, because the sewing is very like you can see he's just kind of getting a lot better with his little fingers and everything.
Yeah,
which is really cool.
I've been ordering stuff. So Christmas decoration is happening this weekend, and I've been ordering stuff for the new baby to be included in the family.
That's really nice.
Like, I got to order him a stocking, but I actually ordered him some Christmas presents.
Oh, wow.
And just things for his room and things like that. So, you know, just anything. And that's mostly, honestly, for Knox. It's anything to get him to understand, like, this is a person who's here right now, legitimately in our family.
Yeah.
And I don't know how I've literally read zero about how other people do any of this stuff. It's just what feels right for our family and what seems to make sense with Knox knowing him. And I feel like it's going pretty good. He talks to him all the time.
Yeah. It's pretty special. It's very special.
So, yeah, other than that, physically, I haven't really had too much pubic pain. My skin is itchy, and like you said, I've been drinking. I drink probably close to 200 ounces of water, like no joke, and I'm still like so dehydrated. Like I'll wake up in the middle of the night so dehydrated.
Yeah.
I get a lot of people reaching out with suggestions for all these symptoms for sure, which is super nice and super helpful. But I think a lot of it is just kind of part of it, and you go with it. So
yeah. Well, to kind of close this up, right now he's the size of a pomegranate.
He's roughly 5.9 ounces and 5.12 inches.
And what will we expect next week?
Like in a week from now?
Yeah.
Artichoke.
Woo.
He's almost 7 ounces next week.
Wow, that's wild.
That's pretty.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we'll be seeing him the first week of December, and I'm super excited for that.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, guys. Well, that'll wrap up this week's episode of Adventures of Alcaraz. I am Julian Alcaraz.
And I'm Miranda Alcaraz, and we'll talk to you guys next week.